All right, good afternoon. Time for our Midday Minutes. Today we're sitting down with Darius Pridgen. You are our Common Council President for the City of Buffalo, Bishop over at True Bethel Baptist Church. But I said I want to talk to radio host Darius Pridgen today. All right, because we need to talk about
all in the same person.
It's all in the same person,
yes.
But you know, personality-wise.
All right.
I want us to be able to discuss things freely.
Okay.
We have a pretty tough subject though today, because I brought you here wanting to talk about summer wrapping up now.
Yes.
I hate using the word violent summer, but it was a violent summer. But something I noticed particularly this summer was how many of our kids were in the headlines for not good reason. How many of our kids died in the headlines? I want to pull up now just a couple of the highlighted ones that I remember from over the summer. We had Deron Allen, 17 years old, killed at the community center in North Buffalo. This was in March, but 2 other young people were shot there, right? Bader El Wasim, that 6th grader, killed by the stray bullet through the window, 12 years old. Paul Humphrey, the Bishop Timon football player, killed, 17 years old. Tyshawn Burtz, he was shot on Holden Street. Anthony Douglas, 16 years old, killed on Oakmont back in June. These were some of the ones that just stood out to me from over the summer. We also had an 11-year-old girl shot in the leg, right? She didn't die. A mother killed. I've never seen this before. So many young people. Is this common? What is going on?
I wouldn't say it's common at all, and it's unfortunate. I don't care whether it's 1 or whether it's 10. At the end of the day, they're all very tragic, and as you know, I participated in a lot of those homegoings for young people in one way or another. And so we have to continue to work together, not just as a city government, but as a city. Because I think where you make your priority is really where you get your change. It's like anything else. If this doesn't become our priority, and I'm not talking about anti-violence as much as I'm talking about a whole change in culture and what is acceptable and what is not.
Well, we're telling our kids to do what? Every time I hear this happening, get our kids off the street, get our kids up. Where are we telling them to go?
Well, some people tell them sports, and I know to go ahead.
Look at this. Sports.
Yeah.
That's what we said. That's what I wanted you to say.
And at the end of the day, something happened after a sporting event, not during a sporting event, right? But we have tragedies all over the United States that happen where we tell our kids to go. We tell our kids to go to school every day.
Yeah.
There have been mass murders in school.
Right.
And so I think it may be easy to say, well, look, this happened, right after a game, but is that the norm? Is that what we see at these games all the time? I say not.
After the story aired, I was talking to different people in the community about that the city league, or what they call the city league. And they said, there is a high police presence because you can always smell weed at the game. The coaches are betting on the games. One coach, I looked this up, he is publicly on Facebook advertising his gentleman's club.
If I find out that there are people who are betting on children at a game. Now, what you do in your living room, I don't know. What you do in public and what you do if you're receiving any type of city subsidy, it is up to us to investigate that. I don't know if people realize the council does have investigation power, and we do have subpoena power, which I have used that investigation power several times over these years. At the end of the day, I don't have that proof. Bring it to me. I'll take it to the district attorney or anybody I can, to the Buffalo police, and say this deal. But I have to have the proof and not the rumor. Okay.
You said something on your radio show after all this happened, especially with the football coach Nor Aldridge being killed.
Which broke my heart.
Absolutely. I want to see if we can pull up a little bit of what you said on the show there.
When you see the young people, the anger of young people, and the anger of their parents, and the anger of others, it just gets to a point where you go like, wow, this is sad. So
you said this is so sad, and something you just mentioned here, well, you said sports were supposed to be a safe place. School was supposed to be a safe place.
Churches. People have been killed in churches. So let's not think that this one event in the city of Buffalo, and thank God we don't have this over and over and over. This broke my heart to have a guy who really had been working with children a lot and really had his bumps in the roads and turned his life around. So it hurts. But at the end of the day, we do have, I want you to think about this, we do have police presence at the game. We do have some of the nonviolence groups. We have plenty of parents who are there. And so at the end of the day, that may be a safer alternative than being on the streets.
Well, tell me something, because when I've heard you speak after some of these
Yes.
violent and tragic events, you keep saying parents.
Yes.
You're like, we need to have our parents
Yeah.
involved,
Yeah.
or adults.
Yeah.
How?
Listen, I meet once a month with Dr. Cash of the Board of Education. So there's all these efforts, right, to get parents more involved. And I don't just mean coming to a PTA meeting. You know, I don't even know if PTA meetings are still going on.
When I said how, though, I'm sorry
Yep.
to cut you. When I said how,
No.
I mean because we have parents who are working jobs to try to
Yes.
feed their kids.
Yes.
They can't be there. So when I'm saying how, I mean.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree that if I have a child, I can't be there or another responsible adult in that child's life. And if you're here and you're the only one in your family in Western New York, there are all kinds of programs that are available. There are all kinds of mentors that are available. It's about taking advantage of what's in front of you. But I'm just going to tell you, I disagree with the excuse, I can't do it or somebody else can't do it. Then my question is, who's supposed to do it? You can blame government all day. Government didn't have a baby. You can blame the pastors all day. I didn't go out here and make these babies, but I'm here to support. I have programs I'll give you, for instance, in my church all the time. I just took kids to Belize, $400. We found kids who could not afford it, but it was still tough getting some parents to participate. So at the end of the day, I think that we have to make that kind of the negative. You have children, take or get support networks and help.
Right. Okay. Obviously, I want to keep going with the conversation. We might have to pick that one up. Vinny, my engineer, is clapping on it. We don't have the time, but we're going to have to bring you back to talk about it more. I do have to
Anytime.
send things over to Michelle so she can give you a look at that forecast.